So tomorrow my plan is to go out and fly a sign early, get what cash I need, hopefully before 1, 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Go back downtown and go to the library and print up my complaint forms. If there even are any forms. I know I sent one restraining order request to the Vermont Judiciary Oversight, and they sent me a letter back eventually, and I don't remember what it said. But I know that I can send them complaints, and I'm basically going to file complaints, inquiries, and I'm going to make it real clear that I'm not making criminal allegations against the 2 judges who signed off on the Autumn Caton restraining order. But I'm going to be requesting a criminal allegation into their links to Judge Hoare, because there's no way in hell Autumn Caton presented any evidence that I was stalking her. Any evidence would be from the Green Mountain Transit head of security, Dan, who would have presented all of the evidence that shows that Autumn Caton, Becky Burrell, her friend Michael, and the little guy with glasses that's a meter maid and was working the security desk when you go into that bottom door at City Hall. If you need to go in and use the public restrooms, he was sitting at that desk yesterday. I don't know his name, but he was always on the bus when I was going to camp. He got off at North Beach. And who else? Anyway, everybody, all that evidence would prove they were the ones stalking me and had some access to very sophisticated surveillance through Homeland Security at the Burlington Police Department, who is on record calling me a child sex trafficking victim, rightly so, only they're lying and saying I was my father's victim when they know I'm actually, well, they actually said I'm my mother's victim too, but they're actually working with my mother and her sister and all of her relatives who were trafficking drugs and children in Arkansas and Missouri during the Iran-Contras for Piper and the Weinbergers, who were both part of Reagan's administration. So, but Autumn Caton is not a licensed peace officer. She ain't no fucking SVU detective. Neither is Michael. Neither's that fucking flunky security guard. Neither's Becky Burrell. And they were impersonating victims advocates from Sarah George's office. What evidence did they present to these judges? So yeah, both those judges need to be under investigation, and I'm going to basically say in the complaint, do they belong on the Epstein list with Judge Hoare, Weinberger, the Goldwaters, Pam Blondie, Andrew Bailey, Beauvais, Blanche, my employer, ex-boyfriend, Chad Cronin, my relatives on my mother's side, some of my relatives on my father's side, like Hazel Moore, and maybe some of my cousins who work for Catholic Health. I'm going to keep it pretty simple. The fact that they were impersonating and using most disgusting honeypot operation. How are you going to send a Herman Goring lookalike to run a honeypot? To try to seduce me, to gain my trust, to get information out of me or manipulate me in this way or that way. That's fucking gross. So what I'll probably do is print up some of my emails to Sarah George's, the one I sent to Sarah George's office after the no trespass and the restraining order was served. That way I don't have to tell it all over again. I'm not going to type all that shit up all over again. I'm going to let that email speak for itself. And I'm going to say that the Vermont Judiciary needs to be working with Sarah George's office and the state police and Cousy in investigating these motherfuckers. Homeland Security Protective Services is gang stalking me with people who aren't licensed professionals in any way, shape, or form. Dr. Lincoln's patients. So they're violating HIPAA in myriad ways. And the Victims' Rights Act. And I'm going to put links to articles. I'm going to say DOJ is illegally surveilling congressional members when they go and search the Epstein files at DOJ and set it up to make it real easy to illegally survey them. And basically how they're trying to intimidate all of the victims of Epstein's criminal enterprise. Just because I didn't meet Epstein himself that I can recall, I'm still a victim of all his partners in crime because they're all birds of a rapist feather, including the people that are dealing the drugs to fund their Iran-Contras and all their other bullshit. And my family can't deny it because Roger went to fucking prison for it. Gets out of prison on drug charges, gets HUD housing and a job, a maintenance job at a fucking college. Once you have drug charges, you don't get any type of public benefits, and you can't go to work at any kind of federally funded public entity. Columbia College isn't a state university like Mizzou, but it still gets money